going on, guys? It's Nick here, back in the video. It's Monday, it's new time, and it's time for the mock draft Monday. We've been doing Sleeper for a while, I think like 3 consecutive on Sleeper. So we're gonna go back to Fantasy Pros for this one, try and switch it up a little bit. And we've done PPR, so we're gonna do a half PPR, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 2 flex draft this time. And we're gonna go with the 11 pick. I've done a few early, a few middle. Let's go to the 11 pick this time. So what do we got? Running backs off the board: McCaffrey, Hall, Bijan, Gibbs. Wide receivers off the board: CD, Hill, Chase, Jefferson, St. Brown, and Puka. Basically what you're going to expect in nearly every draft. And we're going to be left with a decision point here. So we have the option. I think we're pretty much guaranteed a running back. I mean, we could theoretically lock one up now. And we could honestly try and double dip at running back. But JT, Saquon, both on the board. And I wouldn't go with ETN at like our next pick, because we're kind of thinking about like the turn here, right? AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, drop off. So we kind of do have 2 different ones where it's like AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson are in that tier above Adams, Olave, and Harrison. And we've got JT and Saquon in that tier above everyone else, in my opinion. And it's great because it's going to be us, 2 picks, another one. So we're basically guaranteed 2 of these players. So we want to think about how we want to do this. I probably would not want AJ Brown and Garrett Wilson. I'd be fine with that, but I'd be a little bit scared about what my running backs would end up with or end up being at that like 3-4 turn. And just, you know, we've seen we're going to get some pretty solid value at wide receiver in those spots. So I don't think I would go with 2 of them. And my hesitation with drafting one of Wilson or AJ Brown here is it might force me to, because maybe we do get both JT and Saquon. So I think the best option would just be draft Jonathan Taylor. In the rankings, I do have Garrett Wilson a little bit higher, but I think just like strategy-wise at this point, I'd be much more comfortable going like JT, Saquon, and then going a bunch of wide receivers than it would be Brown and Wilson, just given who's going to be available after that. So I think that's what we're going to do. Let's take Jonathan Taylor. Wow. Wait, did 2? So they did draft 2 running backs, ETN and Saquon. Interesting. So we would have actually missed out and had to take the both of them. Maybe though, maybe we should just see. I actually be curious. After this draft, I'll go back really quickly and I'll take both of the wide receivers and I'll force it in case they don't do it. And let's just see which team we like a little bit better. I think that'd be a good play. Okay, let's do that. But then the choice here is pretty clear. I mean, it's between AJ Brown or Garrett Wilson, whichever one you prefer, but I did a whole video ranking those 2. I prefer Garrett Wilson, and we're not going with Kyron or Derrick Henry this early, especially already having Jonathan Taylor. So pretty clear option for me. We will take Garrett Wilson. So we've got Jonathan Taylor, we've got Garrett Wilson. We're opening up with 1 of each. Feel pretty strongly about that start. Okay, off the board after us. 2 quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. We've got 2 tight ends, Sam Laporta and Travis Kelce. And then a pretty even mixture, a little bit more wide receivers. But yeah, Kyron, Pacheco, Henry, Achane, James Cook, and Rachaad White go at running back. And then like 10 different wide receivers, pretty much all the ones you would think go off the board. At wide receiver, who's left? Nico, Pittman, Metcalf, Devonta Smith, Cooper Kupp. Probably the top options there. Running back, Jacobs, Mixon, Ken Walker. Okay. The way I see this, we could go with Mahomes or Lamar, but I would say I feel much better about them. Definitely in round 4, but like kind of into round 4. Late round 3 doesn't feel right for them. So I'm going to say no. Kind of the same thing with Andrews, McBride, Kincaid, Kittle, Pitts. It's like I like all of them. I don't think in round 3 it's any of them. I kind of want to, you know, do 1 of each again. I do think Nico, I broke him down in the other video talking about him, London, and Olave. I do think he's 3rd on that list, but he like is an elite wide receiver, could very easily end up being the top wide receiver on this team. I have talked about how that kind of puts me out of range of Tank Dell, and I don't love that, but there's actually an okay chance Tank Dell won't be there at the next pick, you know, because we'll be at like the late 5th round. There's definitely a chance he's not there. And late 3rd, I'm definitely confident taking Nico Collins. I have him at 302. I don't have any running backs here graded out as a decent value, and I have him projected as a top wide receiver and the top player. So I just think that's a pretty clear one. I know some of you don't like Nico Collins, but again, underlying metrics are fantastic. He was unbelievable against man and press coverage. Like, he is a true X wide receiver. He's got a great coaching staff, a great quarterback. I know that maybe the ceiling target share isn't there, and so that's why I prefer London and Olave, but they are not on the board. They're not options for me at this pick. I would not be shocked at all if he finishes the top 7 wide receiver of the season. Like, he truly is good. It wasn't just CJ Stroud. Underlying stats are there. I just think he's a great wide receiver and great as a number 2, giving you that weekly upside. So I think the play is take Nico. Let's just lock that in. This is where it's interesting. McBride goes, Cooper Kupp goes. I will say, I like a lot of the wide receivers here. I'm pretty sure I'll have, I have Devonta Smith as the top projected wide receiver left here. Very close is Metcalf. Pittman not too far behind that. But again, and so we do have, I can pull up rosters over here. We do have 2 flex spots, so we can be perfectly confident taking another wide receiver because we know we're going to want a lot of them. I know, though, that running back is going to drop off. I kind of want to take a running back at this pick that I think has a high ceiling. If you wanted to go with Smith or Metcalf or Pittman, I would say those are the 3 you'd consider at this spot. I think that's completely fine to do, and it might even be the smart play, and maybe it is what I do go with. But I kind of want to take Jacobs. Everyone's off of Jacobs this season, and I totally understand being concerned about Marshawn Lloyd. My model loves Marshawn Lloyd. I love his potential as a player. I think people are falling in love a little bit too much, being like, oh, he's going to be the next Aaron Jones. He might be, but he's going to be the next Aaron Jones. He's going to be great in the receiving game. I mean, we don't know that. We don't know if that's the case. If anything, he's got a little bit of room to grow in the receiving game, and he's talked about that as well, like wanting to get better in that area. We know Jacobs is pretty darn good in the receiving game. And if they just, like him more and they want to go with him because he's going to be the goal line back, going to be the guy when they're winning games, which they're going to win most games, he's going to be the one that they're like kind of ending games with. If they also want to kind of feature him on like a lot of third downs as well, he will have top 5 running back upside. And I feel like people are just so locked in to saying no, Lloyd is going to be the third down back. He's going to be Aaron Jones. He's going to be like super valuable. It's like maybe, but also maybe not. And if not, you're getting such a sick value with him this late. So I feel like him, Mixon, Ken Walker kind of speak to me here. And then I do see a very big drop off into the next range for like certainty. So kind of want to do it. Kind of want to take Jacobs, know that I'm going to still get really strong wide receivers, and maybe we go Jacobs, and then we go wide receiver at the next 2, unless there's a tight end or quarterback that we really like. I think that that's going to be our move here. So let's do it. Let's go Jacobs. All right, let's see what's available. After we take Jacobs, 1 million running backs come off the board. Kamara, Mixon, Walker, Jones, Zamir White, Montgomery, Stevenson, James Conner, Mostert, Najee, Pollard, and Swift. Gone. Glad we took Jacobs. Also gone. Mahomes, Lamar, Stroud, which means Richardson's still there. Also gone, Mark Andrews, unfortunately. He goes to 405. He probably wasn't going to be there at 511. Devonta Smith's still there. We would have taken him at the last pick. Excellent choice going with Jacobs. But even if Smith wasn't there, Cooper's a good pick. Diggs is a good pick. We still have the Dell option, which again, it's annoying that I love Dell so much. Maybe honestly, I need to just be more okay taking both of them. But so many amazing wide receivers still here. I think you could go with Kincaid, you could go with Kittle, you could go with Richardson. There's so many good wide receivers. I don't see how we pass up on them. We'll go with Devonta Smith, and then we'll just go with the top-ranked wide receiver after that. Diggs and Zach Moss come off the board. Okay, who is the top-ranked wide receiver? Let's see. Hopefully it's not Tank Dell, but it might be. Neighbors is gone, right? Yeah, Malik Neighbors is gone. It's Dell. It's Dell and it's Flowers. The difference between Dell and Flowers is 5 points. comment section. Should I be okay with this? Like, should I just, suck it up and just be like, the Texans are going to be an insanely good team. You basically can just be like, you know what? Start Dell and Collins every single week. Pretty confident that in 80% of games, one of them is having a really good score, but you can basically just say, use them as a player block and say, I'm starting these two. These two can combine for 30 points a lot of different weeks, and I don't really care which one goes off. Sure, I'll be frustrated in the weeks that like Diggs has like 102 touchdowns, but I don't know if that's going to happen a very high percentage of the time. Like it adds on a little bit of risk, but I feel like if I like them more, why not go for it? But let me know in the comment section. I think if this was my my hometown league, then I'm like, I want to win this thing. I'd probably go with Flowers. I'd probably be like, you know what? It's probably a little bit too much correlation when I don't need high-end correlation. That's probably the play. So, unfortunately, I think we go with Flowers. I think I'll do that. Okay. I like teams so far. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Garrett Wilson, Nico, Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers. Love it. Okay. We have missed out on the top 7 tight ends. I would love a top 7 tight end this season. We would have taken Kittle if he was there. We would have taken, obviously, like Kincaid, Pitts, all of them if they're there at this pick. Kind of run into a spot where at 7-11, it's a little bit less likely they're going to be there. There you go. Herbert goes. That's a little early for him, but also Kyler and Anthony Richardson off the board. And then a sort of even split at running back and wide receiver. So Ingram is there, but we did just miss out, and I do think there's a drop off there. Burrow and Dak are still on the board. Has this person drafted? This person has a tight end, but they do not have a quarterback. So relatively likely we see a quarterback go soon. What do I have the difference between those two? I have a decent drop off between Burrow and Dak. I mean, okay, it's not crazy. It's 6.5 points, but that's still, I don't know. It's still what a 50-yard touchdown. I don't know. I guess that's not that much, but an okay difference to where I do prefer Joe Burrow. But I also love Jordan Love this season. And I kind of would rather risk it and see if I can get Love at like 9-11 because that would be pretty sweet. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3 teams that haven't taken a quarterback yet. Even if we get 2 of them taking one, it's risky. It's certainly risky, but I kind of want to test it. I'll at least test it for this pick. So who's it different? Because we're not going to take 2 quarterbacks, obviously. Again, I don't want to go with Ingram. I think we wait and get better value there. At running back, Singletary and Spears do stand out to me, and we only have 2. And it would be good to get a third we like. Between those 2 options, because Brooks is gone, right? Yeah, because Brooks is gone. I have Spears first, and I think I agree with that. My gut says take Spears. Still probably going to get a good wide receiver if we wait. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take Spears, at least, because we're not going to double dip wide receiver here. All right, let's do it this way. Spears, okay. Now, I don't think we double dip at running back. I don't think it's that important for us. Do we have, Adunze is a great pick at this spot. It's just unfortunate that he's so far down there. Like, there's a theoretical chance I could get him at the next pick. I don't think anyone separates enough at wide receiver. Like, Christian Watson's a good upside pick. Jaden Reed, JSN, Adunze, Lad. Those 5 are like really strong picks. I guess I do have Reed an okay amount above. I literally just made a video yesterday, was it? Saying that Jaden Reed was not one of my favorite picks. I think I said round 7. We're in round 8 here, so a little bit better. I have him as the top value, at least at the wide receiver position. Yeah, I just feel like I'm going to want to draft Wicks later. He's the top value, but there's still a ton of other guys that are within 5-6 points of him in the projections. I don't think that's where the value is. Let's not go there. Do we take Ingram? I have Ingram 804. We're 802. That's not a great value. I mean, I have Burrow at 607. So we're getting about a round and a half value on Burrow. Maybe that is the smart pick. That's probably what I should do. Yeah, I should probably do that. Take Burrow. Don't risk it with Love. I do have Burrow ahead of Love. If we happen to have gotten him there at the next pick, that's fine. I mean, we're not losing that much value. It's probably the right move. All right, we'll do it. And it's good that we did, because Love actually went at 8-11. We're now at 9-11, a full round ago. We may not have been there. Okay, I think that was the right play. Good job. Good job thinking that one through. But yeah, Dak goes, Love goes. No tight ends go, so we still have Ingram as a possibility here. Even split, running back and wide receiver. Top options. Ingram, for sure. We're not going to double dip at quarterback right now. Wide receiver, we did kind of just miss out, it looks like. Yeah. Oh, goodness. I mean, the last 5 picks were Ladd we would have wanted, Chase Brown we would have wanted, Adunze we would have wanted, Rico, I don't know if it would have taken, and Jameson Williams we would have wanted. So that's a tough last 5 picks. Pull up our roster. I don't think we need a running back here. We've got JT, Jacobs, Spears. I feel good enough about that. I don't think we need to go with a running back here. It probably would be Charbonnet for some upside, but I don't think I need to go there. Top wide receivers, I would say, are taking shots on like Brian Thomas Jr., Keon Coleman, and then just going with like the stability of someone like Sutton, like Tyler Lockett, Curtis Samuel, Cook's good, Shaheed good. Maybe we double dip. Oh, no. Well, we're going to draft Ingram, though. We're going to take Ingram, and then we'll take our top wide receiver. And you could risk it, but I don't think there is a top wide receiver that I care too much about which one's taken. So I think the sharp play is just take Ingram, make sure they don't double dip a quarterback. They don't. Purdy and Charbonnet is who they go with. Yeah, and then we take our top wide receiver. Who would that be? Our top-ranked wide receiver is Keon Coleman, which makes sense. It's really just the targets for him. Like, I think he's an overrated prospect a little bit, but the team loves him. Curtis Samuel, Shakir, Kincaid, gonna get looks, but like Keon Coleman is the most likely to be their top wide receiver. I still think Kincaid is probably more likely to get more targets overall, but they're missing so many targets from last season. There's just plenty to go around for everyone. I think taking a shot on Keon Coleman makes sense there. Okay. We take him. We're getting towards the end of this draft, and again, we're going to go back and see how our team would have changed had we done the double dip at wide receiver to start off with. Nothing special happens. No quarterbacks go. Only Njoku goes at tight end. More wide receivers than running backs at this point in the draft. So a semi-double dip here. The only wide receiver left that we were considering in that early pick was Shaheed. I think it makes all the sense in the world to just grab him, not even think about that one. Then we would take, at this point, probably a running back we feel good about. I mean, we have Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers, Keon Coleman, and Rashid Shaheed. That's 6 wide receivers we feel good, very good about. We're probably going to want to start 4 every week, so it's good we have 6 we feel good about. But JT, Jacobs, Spears, maybe we double dip, honestly, at running back. I think Algier makes sense just because, Bijan gets hurt. I mean, Algier is an easy running back, one every week, and that's upside because we don't need him to start right now. That's pretty clear upside. I would say him, Elijah Mitchell, Bucky Irving to a degree. I think he's more a floor play. But Jalen Wright, Estime, that'd be more of like a last-round pick. Bigsby, Braylon Allen, Vidal. Like, those are the ones you want to be after. But I think the one that makes the most sense here is Algier. I think we'll lock him up. And then, is there a wide receiver we like a lot? I mean, there's ones we like. How many spots do we have left? If we took a running back here, we definitely need one more running back. But I feel like I'm good waiting at running back. I don't think there's anyone that we need here. Maybe we take a wide receiver. And then we see what's left. Go running back, wide receiver, the next pick. Who's our top wide receiver? Probably AD. AD Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell on the screen. But AD Mitchell, Douglas, Leggett, Burton, Polk, Demarcus Robinson, Pearsall. But I think AD Mitchell is still the top who I would want. Hopefully we can go Mitchell, Pearsall, like Tank or something like that. Let's try that. Was a turn happening here? All right, so we take up. I thought we were going to have the turn after that. Okay, so we get AD Mitchell. I think there are plenty of wide receivers I'm fine with, so I would rather secure the running back I like the most, which is probably Bucky Irving. I know it's a floor play, but I feel like I feel the best about him at least getting touches, and I feel pretty good about our running backs so far, and I don't want too many handcuff running backs. Yeah, let's do that. Take Bucky Irving, and then, yeah, all these wide receiver options will still be there for us at the next pick. Pearsall would be my favorite, and then we will grab, right, because we'll have a defense after this, right? Yeah, Pearsall defense, screenshot the team, see how the team looks with wide receiver early on. Okay, I like it. Now, go away. Pearsall. Again, haven't researched defenses yet, so let's take the Steelers. I probably should just pull up my defense rankings. Okay, here's the team. Again, I want to screenshot this, save that, and we'll pull it over here, and then I'll pull that up afterwards. Let's go back and let's redo this pick. I will try my best to remember exactly who we picked at each spot. I don't know if I'll actually be able to do that, but we will see. Okay. Let's take A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson. Let's take the two wide receivers and let's see what happens to the rest of our team. So you got A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson. Again, we are in a league where we can start 4. So feel good about that. Running back. So Nico is still there. Wouldn't be terrible trying to overload wide receivers, do like an RB0 build here. But it would make the most sense to grab Jacobs. And I think I would honestly, if this were my main league, I'd go Jacobs Mixon. And I would just hope that these two great offenses choose to feature these two running backs. They both end up as running back ones, and I've got, 2 running back ones, 2 wide receiver ones. That's probably what I want to do instead of going with Nico and then getting, much lower end second running back play. Yeah. Okay. That wouldn't be that bad of a start, honestly. We do that. Again, I'm not going to pull the draft board up too much, or maybe I can just draft from it over here. Okay. A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Jacobs, and Mixon. I would probably not go with tight end here. I would probably not go with quarterback. I'd probably want to still stick to running back, wide receiver. Diggs would be my top player, and I can do that because I didn't draft Nico, but it's the same thing with Tank. I like him a lot too. What do the rankings say? What even is Diggs? All right, Diggs is barely above Tank, to be honest, but he is still the top wide receiver here. Interesting. Who are the running backs? Ugh, no. I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not taking a running back. So would I just double dip? Would I just take like Diggs and Flowers, maybe? Those would be the top 2. I mean, it would be Dell, or do I take Diggs and Dell? Again, I need that in the comment section. Am I good taking 2 of these Texans if I think the Texans are going to be insane this season? Oh, I missed out on Neighbors. I didn't realize Neighbors was still there. Neighbors would be the pick over Diggs, but there you have it. But yeah, would you be cool taking 2 of the Texans guys? Okay, wide receivers are sick. I mean, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Stephon Diggs, Malik Neighbors, and we still have 2 pretty good running backs. Okay, this is working out for us. Running back, was this where I took Spears? And it wouldn't be a bad time to take him, but Spears, Maybe I should keep this pulled up over here. This doesn't tell me, obviously, where I drafted each player, but I know I took Burrow as well close to here. Pulling up the cheat sheet. I think it was Burrow. I think I took Burrow. I don't know, because Pitts also stands out here. What if I did like Burrow Pitts? That would be a pretty good start. I'm going to do that. Burrow. Did they take Pitts? Oh, no. I just didn't start him. I think Burrow Pitts is the move. Because now our starting lineup is locked in. And that's a strong starting lineup. Burrow, Jacobs, Mixon, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Pitts, Diggs, Neighbors. Holy cow. That's a very good starting lineup. Again, we'll compare, because I think this starting lineup is also very good when I'm looking at it on the right here. But we'll compare the two teams after. Okay. Let's try and finish this off close to what we had before. We missed out on Spears, so we are going to need a running back. And I said I would probably have gone with Charbonnet last time. So we've got Charbonnet, and I took Keon Coleman. Okay, maybe we go Charbonnet Coleman would be a good way to do that. Okay, Charbonnet. We will draft Keon Coleman. Okay. We took Shaheed Algier after that. Nice. Shaheed. We will take Algier, because I think both these builds make sense to finish off the same way, doing that kind of like alternating running back and wide receiver thing. Then we took A.D. Mitchell and Bucky Irving. So let's do that again. Okay. I like this. I like how this is working out. And then we went with Pearsall and defense. Okay. What do you guys think? Prediction time. Who's it going to be? Which team is going to be better? I have a feeling this team could end up being better. No, slightly lower in their projections, but again, we'll see how it kind of works out. Okay. Let's put that right here so we don't see it. And we'll put this. We will put this right here. I don't actually think I can zoom in on this one, so maybe I shouldn't have made the other one too much bigger. But let's make it smaller so you guys can compare the two of them a little bit. Okay. Close enough. Main differences. First team we drafted has JT. So you take JT and you downgrade him to Joe Mixon. You take Nico and you upgrade it to A.J. Brown, which I don't think is a massive upgrade. Devonta Smith, it's actually a downgrade, that flex spot into Diggs. And then Flowers upgrade. But I guess that flex spot is probably even. Devonta Smith Flowers is basically the same thing as Stephon Diggs Neighbors. And honestly, thinking back, maybe it was the exact same rounds that we drafted him in. So that doesn't matter. Basically, the only difference here is Jonathan Taylor. Because, again, we got actually pretty good value with Pitts as well. We probably just got lucky on that pick. And then I guess difference would be what? Charbonnet and Spears, but I don't remember. Maybe that happened at a similar pick as well. I think the main difference we want to look at, there's some subtleties. I think the main difference is, would you rather have Jonathan Taylor and Nico Collins, or would you rather have Joe Mixon and A.J. Brown? I think I would rather have Jonathan Taylor and Nico Collins, along with the fact that we weren't guaranteed to hit on Jacobs. And if we had missed out on Jacobs, there's a lot more risk in that second team having to draft Mixon and then like a much lower end running back too. And that would concern me a little bit more. Also, we're much deeper at wide receiver. If we have, like, maybe Jacobs doesn't turn out to be as good as I think, or he suffers an injury or something like that. Now we have Mixon and like Charbonnet. And I don't feel amazing about that. JT, it's only injury, right? He's still going to be very good. So we at least have that kind of locked in. And if we have the Jacobs injury, we have Spears still. But at worst case, we still have JT, which is better than only having Mixon. So I think, in my opinion, I agree with the grades. I think that that first team is just a little bit better off. But again, as with always in these mock draft Mondays, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Curious if I do not. I haven't updated the Fantasy Pros in a while. I have not given them my updated rankings. I typically do that. I give it to them early on, and then we wait a long time, wait till the end of summer, because, people are using these rankings, but I would rather people use my rankings on the site. So if you do happen to find my rankings on there, know that it is not the most up-to-date rankings. Most up-to-date rankings are always on the website. Update them sometimes 3 times a day, but definitely going through updates every day for all the latest news. So if you want to see my actual rankings, you can see them on my website, thefantasyfootballadvice.com. Tomorrow, come to the live stream, 6:30 Eastern. I'll answer any questions you all have. But that, my friends, is in this one. And thanks for watching.